Hi, I'm Rita Peterson with Everything Homemade, and today we are going to make pizza crust. And with that, I have my helper here, Ocean, who's going to give me a hand. So, first of all, we do not make a normal pizza crust at all, what you're used to, but it is outstanding and healthy at the same time. What makes this different is you prepare this the night before. There is no yeast in it, and you're soaking the grain overnight. So you take your flour and you soak it in a probiotic mix. So you can do yogurt, you could do kefir, you could do lemon and water if you are allergic to a milk-based product. So what that does is it removes the phytic acid that is in your grain, and this makes it healthy for you, and your body is able to digest your grain. So some people who just can't handle wheat or gluten, for say, can handle a soaked grain much easier. And this is what we make our pizza crust out of. So let's start. It takes 4 ingredients. Okay, we're going to use salt. We're going to use melted coconut oil. We're going to use flour here, and I have freshly milled wheat. And I have kefir. Okay, so what we want to do is get the wet ingredients in first. So first we're going to have the kefir. And I have about a cup of kefir here. Next thing we want to do, as she's stirring, we want to add a cup of coconut oil. Now, if you do not like coconut oil, you can use 1 cup of melted butter. So get that mixed together, and of course these 2 ingredients aren't going to mix really good together. And we're going to add a teaspoon of salt. So measure here about a teaspoon, perfect, of salt goes in there. And then we're going to add flour, and it's about 3½ cups. Now we're going to mix that in first. I'm going to leave a little bit behind, so mix it up. And the reason why I leave some behind is because sometimes the kefir could be more runny than other times, and it's going to vary for how much flour you're going to use. So I just do it slowly until we make a really nice flour, or a really nice dough here. Perfect. So you can see, let me grab the wooden spoon in, so you can see it's getting kind of mushy here and sticky, right? And so we're almost there. So we're just going to put a little bit of more flour over it. And this is where we use our hands. So we're going to mix this up now by our hands. And we're going to make a dough out of it. And once this makes a really nice dough, what we're going to do is I'm going to put about 3 tea cloths over it. And I'm going to just set it on my counter and wait till supper time when I make pizza tomorrow. And the dough is going to totally change. It's going to be soft. It's going to just be, it's going to be completely workable, awesome dough for pizza. Right now it doesn't look like much. The other thing you can do, this is your base. The other thing you can do is you can add some spices to this. So as she's mixing, just to change it up a little, whoa, watch out, Ocean. You can add some basil and some oregano and give it that pizza crust flavor. So let's do that. So we just add a little bit, like a teaspoon of each here. Perfect. And just to give it some herbs. So I'm going to take over here for a moment. And we're going to just work these spices in. Ocean, can you just run and talk to Grace for a second?
Yeah.
Please? And we're going to just work this dough. Okay? Perfect. So what happens is this dough comes together and it looks something like this, okay? And this is perfect. So you don't want it too stiff, but you want it nice and soft. And this is awesome. So this here will make 2 smaller 9 by 13 lasagna dishes, and that's what I use. And I will see you tomorrow evening while we make pizza. Hi, I'm Rita Peterson with Everything Homemade, and today we are going to make one of my children's favorite pizza. So these are my helpers over here. This is Ocean and this is Grace. You want to look at the camera, Grace? This is Grace. And Cam, who's actually filming this, is Nova, my 5-year-old. Way to go. Okay, so let's get started. So we are going to use a lasagna dish. Now I like using lasagna dish, 1, because the sides are high so I can get a deep dish pizza, and 2, it's glass. So I'm going to show you, now I'm going to do this many times on YouTube videos, is to flour my dish beforehand, and that's simply putting oil, olive oil, preferably extra virgin olive oil, on my dish. Just like that. And then taking the flour. Now, if you're doing a gluten-free recipe, you can use poppy seeds, you can use cornmeal, organic, or you can use other gluten-free recipes. And you can see I missed a little spot here, so I'm just going to add a little oil there. And all done. I'm going to put some of the extra flour back in here because it doesn't get oily. And my dish is oiled. So that's the first thing you need to do. So I'm going to set that aside. The second thing is we made the pizza crust the night before. And this is how it looks now. Beautiful, really nice and soft. So I'm going to set this aside here. And what we're going to do is, because I'm going to make 2 pizzas, I'm going to just cut this dough in half. And I'm going to roll out this dough. I'm going to use a bit of flour on my counter. I'm just going to make it into a ball here. Flatten it out and roll, and just make it into a somewhat of a square to go into my dish. Now, this is a thin crust. So one thing that I really like about this recipe that I've used is that it holds together really well. You can see that. Second of all, it's not a heavy crust, and it works really good with pizza. Doesn't get soggy. So this is one of my favorites. As you can see, it rolls out really easy, not even sticky. So I'm just going to move this over here for a moment, bring my lasagna dish, grab it again, and you can see it's very easy to work with. Now it doesn't look like much, but just wait. Okay, so we're going to just organize this for a second. Get it down in the sides. And what I like to do is I like to take all this extra here, and this is where you're making your crust. So you just roll it down. Perfect. Just like that. Just like that. Okay, so we're gonna just leave this off to the side here, and we're gonna move over here. So we're gonna move over here, and we're gonna just make a quick sauce. So Grace has now scooped some tomato paste out, and the reason why I use tomato paste is I can get it clean with no additives in, so it's just tomatoes. So we have that in there. We'll throw that can away. So I add some garlic powder to it. About a teaspoon of garlic powder. About almost a teaspoon and a half of onion powder. Basil. You get another teaspoon. Oregano. And this doesn't have any salt, so we're going to add salt. So another teaspoon of that. Some salt. At least a good teaspoon. And then she's going to mix that up. So I'm going to just set these aside. So just keep mixing there. And I'm going to help you out just a little bit here, okay? Just to speed things going. Okay. So we're going to mix this up. Perfect. So you can keep working on that. So that is your basic sauce. Now I'm not going to add water to it because I don't want it running all over the place. I don't like soggy pizza. So this here will be our sauce. So we're going to grab our dish. And Ocean's going to grab a spoon. Grace, you have a spoon there. And what we're going to do is we're going to just take a scoop of it and just spread it at the bottom. And I like to spread it on top of the crust. Yeah. I like to spread it on top a bit. To just, I like tomato sauce. So, and when I take a bite of pizza, I like to taste it. And when the cheese melts on top of the crust, I like it mixed in with the cheese. Now that's just personal preference. You don't need to put it up here, but anyway, the point is you smear it around. Okay, so that, and we like it fairly thick. This is where you can just put however much you would like on it. So that's good, Grace. Don't keep adding. We're actually going to take some off here. Okay, so perfect. Okay, so spoons back in there. I'm going to take the sauce and move it away. Now the toppings. So I like to start with my meat. And Ocean is going to just sprinkle some meat around here. So just lightly sprinkle, because remember, we need to do another pizza with this. Okay. And we have freshly cut up pineapple here. And we got already sauteed mushrooms. And we have cheese. So that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to add a little bit in the corners here. Good job. So what we're going to do is the mushrooms. Now I'm just going to quickly sprinkle this over. Then you guys can do the pineapple. And we just put some mushrooms on. Just like that. So let's get some pineapple on the pizza. Awesome. Yeah. And I like using fresh pineapple. It gives, I mean, you can use canned if you like, just drain it. But the flavor of fresh is awesome. Okay, so let's leave it like that. And then, mostly everyone's favorite is cheese. On top of the pizza. And I like using Havarti. You can use cheddar or anything else you like. Havarti just melts really, really good over it. Perfect. And the other little bit will be for the other. Okay, all the cheese is on, and I've sprinkled some herb already here, but what I'm going to do is tell you about my secret here with pizza. At the very top where the cheese is, put some herb on it. My favorites is basil and lavender. So I'll either do one or the other, and it'll be lavender flowers. Tastes awesome. So all I do is sprinkle it on top, and the pizza is all done. So we are going to cook this under 350 degrees Fahrenheit, anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes. This totally depends on your oven, so I would check it at 15 minutes, and if you can take your knife and lift up the crust underneath and everything holds together, then it's done. Anytime up to 25 minutes, I find the pizza is ready to go. So we are going to assemble the second pizza, and then I will see you once it's sizzling hot. I'll take a video there quickly of what it looks like when it's all done. Pizza is done. Oh, looks absolutely delicious. Kids are going to love supper tonight. Thank you for watching.